Wow, bad news. Tyson Fury had a 3-week training camp, according to David Haye. We're going to talk about this. Hey. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Listen, I don't know how you found this video, but somehow, some way, you made it to me. Help others find the video and boxing content with a free gesture, throwing a like on the video. It goes a long way when you guys do that. Appreciate everybody who has done it already. Subscribe to the channel, and let's get into today's conversation. Link in the description. You guys see it. Confident. David Haye insists he can beat Tyson Fury and accuses. This is the more, David Haye and Tyson Fury, they were supposed to fight years ago, so I'm not so much concerned with that. But this is, keep in mind, this is a UK company, Talk Sport, that conducted this interview. It says, accuses Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, of failing to prepare properly for the Deontay Wilder fight, who shouldn't be written off ahead of the third fight. You guys see it on the screen. Hold on, let's make it a little bit bigger for you. Former heavyweight champ David Haye believes Tyson Fury, he could beat Tyson Fury, and insists Gypsy King is underestimating Deontay Wilder. Fury defends his belt, blah, blah, blah. Wilder looking swole. First fight ended in a controversial draw, which many felt Fury won. See, this is the UK being biased. Many felt that Wilder was robbed of a knockout, but of course the article being a UK article, like I mentioned, and a UK company, they keep saying they're trying to paint this narrative that many people felt Fury won. And I don't understand that, and I don't want to get too far off the subject, but it drives me crazy, the level of like bias and stuff we see in boxing. Some people thought Fury won, okay, fine, whatever. However, there are a lot of people that thought Wilder was robbed and he should have been awarded a knockout. Also, there are people that believe Wilder won early rounds and he should have easily won because he had 2 knockdowns plus early rounds where he won, where Fury wasn't doing much offensively. But they're trying to paint it for their hometown fight or whatever. Many make the Gypsy King an overwhelming favorite. Once again, the UK level of bias, they better hope and pray Wilder don't win, because the UK is out of here in terms of boxing. It's just too much. I'm just being blunt. The UK boxing, they're going to have to rebuild from scratch, literally, because it's just the way this is written. It says he's an overwhelming favorite. If you look at the odds right now, he's not an overwhelming favorite. Overwhelming favorite would be Canelo versus Avni Yildirim, or Triple G had no guys had Max versus Dominic Wade, or somebody like that, Willie Monroe, who had 5 knockouts. That was like 50 to 1 underdog, 75, 100 to 1 underdog. Those are scenarios that are more, overwhelming. So whoever wrote this article, whatever. It says, but not including the haymaker, who insists Wilder could already have edged the edge due to better preparation. Let's get it. And keep in mind, Wilder sparred David Haye back in the day. And David Haye, since that moment, whatever he experienced from the sparring with Wilder, and this was Wilder before he was even a champion. He raves about Wilder's power, and he was even saying, I think he bet John Fury, or they were close to betting before the second fight, that he didn't see Fury backing him up. Quote, everybody is completely writing off Deontay Wilder for this third fight. Everybody but me. So that's a correction. Dave Haye said, I haven't spoke to anybody who thinks he has a shot in this fight, but I don't see it that way. Shout out to David Haye. Let's go. I've seen Fury not preparing like he did the second time around. So he says Fury is not actually preparing. There were the well-publicized rumors about the fight being delayed because preparation wasn't going that well. He only got to Vegas in late September. A 3-week training camp for a fight of this magnitude. Maybe there's some overconfidence. He is so supremely confident from the second fight, he thinks he can roll into this third fight and it's going to be a home run. Wow. Sounds eerily similar to what I told you. I told you that Fury, it sounds like he's underestimating Wilder. You know, everything he said, it sounds absolutely ludicrous. Haye added, Wilder seems like he's got a massive point to prove. Fury feels like he just wants to get in there and get him out the way. It's a bad energy to have going into the fight. He needs to realize that this is the biggest fight of his life. He continues that Deontay Wilder wants to prove to the world that he's better than people think he is. He'll train harder than he's ever trained in his life. Fury, on the other hand, he's had a lot of issues that have distracted him from being in the gym and training. Completely understandable. But putting all these things together, it'll make for a cracking night. It's that same perceived attitude from Fury, which makes Haye believe that he could come out of retirement and beat Fury. Right? And I'm going to spare the rest of the article. You guys could look at it. He says he thinks he could beat. Now, they were supposed to fight, and then David Haye ended up retiring, so they never got to fight. But this is a fight that maybe Tyson Fury will fight, or Joshua, or something like this. This is a nightmare for the UK, because Joshua just lost, and now you have David Haye saying he could beat Fury. So obviously he sees something in Fury, which the reason I say it's a nightmare for the UK is because something's not adding up. David Haye hasn't fought, like he had that little fight with Fournier or whatever the dude's name is on the Evander Holyfield card recently, but he looked like he was just sparring. David Haye, a professional fighter, former champion, cruiserweight that made the plunge up to heavyweight, he believes he could beat Fury, and I really believe he would be down for the Fury fight. So something is amiss with Tyson Fury. They've painted Fury like he was this heavyweight conqueror after the Wilder 2 fight. Nobody allegedly believes that Fury cheated except for me and a handful of other people, but yet and still you have people like David Haye who feels he can come out of retirement and beat Fury. What does this say? So to me, this is very telling that David Haye feels he can come out and beat Tyson Fury. So basically, people can't believe what they've labeled Fury as if everyone's all worried about his preparation, his mindset. Did he undervalue Wilder, and is he underestimating Wilder? Like these types of things. This doesn't sound good. This doesn't sound like the mindset of a Floyd Mayweather caliber champion who will retire undefeated. Why would people be so worried about his preparation? Here's another separate article, link in the description. David Haye reveals fears over Tyson Fury's preparation for the Wilder trilogy, right? And it's more of what he said. It says, what are you hearing about Fury's preparations for Saturday night? It appears that Fury hasn't had the greatest training camp, and any issues from that could come into play. So they're saying Fury didn't have the best training camp. And if the fight gets rough and tough, Fury's cousin and trainer, Andy Lee, hasn't been around in camp like he was for the second fight. So there are a lot of things happening in and around Team Fury that are not filling me with confidence that he will put on another performance like he did then. I think this is going to be a very difficult or very different to how everyone else seems to see it though. So he says Andy Lee, Tyson Fury's own cousin, hasn't really been around much. Then they had the whole situation with the Rona and Tyson Fury. There was reports that he really wasn't ready. It says everyone's written off Wilder completely, utterly after the second fight, that he was supposedly finished. He showed his level, blah, 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 and it looked like that. I called the fight for BT Sport and I saw it up close and personal. It was very, very one-sided. Wilder didn't seem to have anything to trouble him with, and as a result, Fury has immense confidence that he can just go through the motions. What makes you think Wilder has a chance to beat him then? Listen to how biased the UK is. What do you mean? Like, why are people... This is one of the craziest fights that we've had in recent modern history. You know what I mean? Maybe just behind Pacquiao versus Mayweather. Like in terms of, I'm not saying it's as big as that fight, but what I'm saying, just the level of lunacy and the different commentary. We're hearing a lot of different weird opinions. His new coach, Malik Scott, is super knowledgeable. I brought him over for sparring before. He's a guy who has been there, seen it, done it. He understands the game. I'm not sure that he could change Wilder, but he might be able to smooth off some rough edges. Wilder just needs that power back, right? After 20 months out of the ring, will Fury be able to match another performance? Is he going to go soul searching and training, put everything on the back burner, eat the right food, go to bed at the right time for 10, 12 weeks for the fight? Or is he going to do 3 weeks out? You know, it said 12 weeks before the fight, or is he going to do it 3 weeks out because he's beaten him up already? He seems supremely confident that it's just a matter of turning up. It'll be explosive early on, one of the fights of the year, but I don't think Fury has the 12 rounds in him that he had to beat Klitschko in 2015. He doesn't have the element of surprise he had the second time around, which is what I said. The great Igor Stradamus strikes again when Wilder was preparing for a long boxing match and got bum rushed. So it's not looking good for Tyson Fury. And notice how I predicted these very moments. The great Igor Stradamus strikes again. Now all of a sudden, after people said X, Y, and Z, when Wilder was in 2020, we'll say, the end of 2020, people said Wilder's toast, he's done, he's ducking the rematch. Wilder is then pressed to make sure he got this moment with Tyson Fury and won the arbitration, and he's looking improved, he's looking sharp, he put on size, he's looking ready to go. And now you see the complete opposite with Tyson Fury. Mentally, he lost the press conference, the material was bad, flat, the jokes, and they were like flatlining and stuff like that. And now you're seeing people back off the blocks. They said Fury is this grandiose champion, and now David Haye says he believes that Fury thinks all he has to do is show up. I can't wait for this fight. Think it'll be a great one. If you want to order the fight, use my link. There's a link tree or the link to the fight directly. Order from me does go to help the channel continue to grow when you guys click on that. But you're seeing a lot of people jump ship on Tyson Fury. Now, credit to David Haye. David Haye gave Wilder a lot of credit previously, so I'm not really including him in it. But you're seeing a lot of people, oh, I don't know if Fury's prepared. I don't know if he's meant to. You know, y'all said he was ready to smash up Wilder. Can't wait for Saturday. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe. I'm out.